Welcome. We are going to take a look at a 32-bar jazz standard written in 1929 by Fats Waller. It's called Aint Misbehavin. It's a great song. And the chord progression in the song is one of the fun ones because there's lots of chord changes. So let's take a quick look at the chord changes in the first section. There are two sections which we would label as A. So that's 8 bars that repeat, and then those 8 bars that repeat are followed by a B section which is harmonically and melodically different, and then it returns back to that A section. So it goes A, A, B, A. And when we add up all the measures together, we come up with the number 32. Yeah. So the first 8 bars begins in this song in the key of C, and we start with a C chord. Third finger's on the 5th string 3rd fret, second finger on the 4th string 2nd, and first finger on the 2nd string 1st. We can pluck the strings if you know classical style, and we can pluck the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, just the inner ones. And I'll tell you why later. Yeah. The next chord is a C sharp diminished chord. It looks like this. And 1 and 2 go like this on the 4th string 2nd and 2nd string 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the 3rd strings 3rd, and 4th finger on the 1st string 3rd. And that is a diminished 7th chord. It has a very distinctive sound. And on this one, I'd hit the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string with P-I-M-A if I was plucking it. If I was strumming it, I could strum with the thumb and hit those same strings. So the first two, if I'm strumming it with the thumb, plucking it, and the next two chords are going to be a D minor 7th and a G 7th. D minor 7th looks like this with a little bar, and the G 7th will look like this. So the D minor 7th, we're holding 2 strings down, the 2nd and 1st string on the 1st fret, and the 2nd finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and 4th string open. And again, if you want to strum it, you could do that. And G 7th chord, all 6 strings, or pluck 6th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. And then the next 2 bars go C, C 7th, F, and then F minor. So this one here, the last 2, involves using the first finger and holding down 3 strings. F chord, and then when we do the F minor, we lift the 2nd finger. So C, add the 4th finger on the 3rd string, 3rd fret for C 7th, F chord, F minor. And then we go back to the C chord, an A 7th chord. And notice in the A 7th, I moved the finger like this rather than doing it this way. And the reason is I already have this one down, so I might as well just simply move the 3rd finger over. And then when I go to the D minor, it'll look like that. And then the G 7th like that. And again, if I'm plucking it, I can pluck the strings I want to hit. So on the C chord, again, I might hit the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. And then we have a chord progression which we call a turnaround or a turnabout. E 7th, A 7th, D 7th, G 7th. E 7th looks like this. 6, 3, 2, 1, or strum all 6 strings. A 7th, 5, 3, 2, 1, or strum all 5 strings. D 7th, 4, 3, 2, 1, or strum 4 strings. G 7th. Okay, this was kind of compressed, but I'm going to play through that first as if I'm strumming, and the second time as if I'm plucking. Now plucking. So the chord progression I just played, I just went through the first 16 bars, and you noticed it repeated all the chords we did twice. The only thing different is in the last 2 bars, it just went from C to F to C to E7. And now there's a B section that follows this, and it starts with an A minor chord, which looks a little like the C chord, but the 3rd finger's here. And then it's going to go to an F chord. And again, you can do the full F chord there. And then a D7th chord. And then an A7th chord. And then a G chord. A G sharp diminished. An A minor 7th. A D7th. A G7th. An A7th. A D7th. And a G7. Lots of chords, lots of chords. In the first 4 bars, we've got 1 chord per measure, but that makes it that you'd strum that 4 times. A minor, and we did the F chord, and D7th looks like this. A7, just move these 2 fingers over 1 string and strum 5 strings. Now on this next part, it's a little bit more complicated. You can do a full G chord if you like, using the 4th finger on the 1st string. And then keep the 4th finger there when you go to the G sharp diminished, and you move up 1 fret. So this shape chord that we had C sharp diminished now becomes a G sharp diminished here on the 3rd fret. Back to A minor 7th, which means we don't use the 3rd finger. D7th, G7th, you can do the full one, A7th, D7th, and G7th. So on the 2nd line, there are 2 chords for every measure. One of the fun things about jazz is you're going to find that there are a lot more chord changes. And if you like harmony, this is the kind of music that you may really enjoy playing. So the B section, we'll strum 4 times on the first 4 chords, and then the next group of chords we'll strum just twice. 1, 2, 3, A minor, F, D7, A7, G, G sharp, A minor 7, D7, G7, A7, D7, and G7. And then you're back to the beginning. Okay, so now you may have noticed as I was playing through it, I added some extra things. And when we are arranging a piece of music for guitar, we can include the melody and we can include the chords. So I'm going to end this short video on just the chords, but the next video will be focusing on the melody. And we'll play the melody, we'll learn it in its original octave, and then we'll bring it up an octave. And what that'll mean is that we'll take the notes as they were maybe on the lower strings, and we'll bring it up an octave, and it becomes. And we'll learn how to play some of those in a higher position. Some negotiating that has to be done if you're trying to do it more in first position. More advanced, you can move across the whole fretboard. But if that interests you, you'd like to be able to see, can I be able to put those two things together? And you've been studying guitar for a little bit, I'll be happy to work with you on that. And that will be in the subsequent lessons on this song called Aint Misbehavin by Fats Waller. It's a pleasure working with you. Hope that you had some fun with this. See you next time.